Our next speaker is Greg, who begins his second Pathways presentation mastery. This morning, he'll be giving an icebreaker speech. And as Barry had just mentioned, Greg joined Toastmasters in 1988 in Columbia, South Carolina, with his first club known as Colonial Life and Accident Toastmasters Club. I have to pause there because it almost seems like a irony there. You have life and accident in the same sentence. It just doesn't seem to work, but it does for Colonial, apparently. In 1997, he joined Pikes Peak Toastmasters shortly after moving to Colorado Springs in 1996, and then he served as our club's president twice, treasurer, and the vice president of education for the past 50 years. Help me welcome Greg as he presents his speech entitled My Past, Present, and Future.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. This morning, I would like to share with you my past, my present, and my future. And I'll do that using 3 S words as I go along. First, my past. The S word I'd like to associate with that is the word student. Now, I've attended 4 institutions in my earlier years, the first being the schools in Camden, South Carolina. And it was in Camden High School where I began to flourish and learn more about my leadership skills and style. From there, in 1981, I attended the University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where I learned my passion for public speaking. And I'm proud to say that I was probably one of the only students who graduated, who took 4 years and squeezed it into 5 years for graduation. Yay me. Afterwards, I moved to Colorado Springs in 1997. And while working at the Air Force Academy, I attended the International Protocol School of Washington, which is the premier school for etiquette training. I got my certification there as an international etiquette consultant. A few years after that, in 2009, I attended the University of Phoenix, where I worked on my Master's of Business Administration. So you can say my earlier years, my past life was consumed with being a student. Number 2, my present. I associate the word success with my present. Many of you know that I also work for the military. In this case, one of my desires is to have success in my career. I currently work at Peterson Space Force Base as a congressional liaison for the US Space Force. In this job, I have to deal with, yes, the enigma of Congress. Many 4 committees who work on the defense budget. I provide them with the information they need to make decisions on our space program and our satellites. There are a lot of enigmas in this group of men and women. The other area of success that I've been focusing on here presently has been my public speaking. As many of you know, I try to compete in the Toastmaster speech contest every year. In 2019, I had my best success ever, winning the district contest. Yay, woo! And that is where I beat out close to 600 other Toastmasters throughout Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming. It's been my desire to become successful, not only in my career, but also in my public speaking. Which brings me to my 3rd point, my future. And the word I associate with my future is significance. John Maxwell has a quote that he combines success and significance. He says, success is when you bring value to yourself. Significance is when you bring value to others. Listen to that one more time. Success is when you bring value to myself or yourself. Significance is when you bring value to others. So I see in my future moving from success to bringing significance to others through my public speaking, turning into more of a professional speaking role. As I look into my crystal ball, I envision myself standing before crowds of hundreds, maybe even thousands, inspiring people, motivating people to become and reach their fullest potential. That is my desire, to bring value to others through my public speaking. So allow me to recap. You've learned a little about my past and being a student. You know a little bit about my present and my success with regards to my career and my public speaking. And thirdly, you've seen my vision for my future to bring significance, value to others through my professional speaking. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.